evening and welcome to our very first live stream. And I'm JP, and over there is Dimi.
Oh, we're here. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome to our first live stream. This might be a big fiasco or something really cool, so we'll see by the end how it turns up.
Right, so quick introductions. I'm a content creator for Brizzy at YouTube, and I know I'm guilty. I haven't created a lot lately, and there's a lot of reasons for that. And that's why Dimitri and I have really thought about how we can engage you guys a little bit more quicker and get in touch with you. And that's why we've rolled out the webinars. We did the Woocommerce in development last week, something cool coming up next week. And then for this week, we have started to explore live streaming. And this is really uncharted territories for us. So like Dimi said, it can either be very cool or it can be a fiasco. And we hope you're going to give us feedback. And before I give over to Dimi for him to introduce himself, tonight is all about you, asking questions, about feature development, about anything you want to know. And the burden is on Dimi to answer those questions. And I'll try and do the DJing here in the background to make things a little bit smoother.
I'm up. Okay.
You're up.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Dimi. I'm one of the founders here at Breezy. Most of you probably know me. I'm partially responsible of the UI and the user experience in the Breezy Builder. So yeah, tonight it's all about you. It's all about connecting with the community and see and discuss all things Breezy, answer your questions, Breezy WordPress, Breezy Cloud. We can have a friendly banter. Maybe GP will tell some jokes. We'll see.
Good, and Chris is also there in the room. Maybe we can grab Chris also later in and drag him in here. So if he's got a video camera on there, also show his face. I can let him know. Chris, if you are interested, let me know, and I'll drag you in here as well. We can increase the conversation. Right, so the idea is questions, and that's all up to you guys tonight. Anything that you are interested to know about Brizzy, the past, the present, and the future, that's over to you. And I mean, that's exactly why Dimi is here tonight. So let's start off quickly, and I'll pop it in with the first question to you, Dimi, on Woocommerce. So last week we looked at Woocommerce for the Brizzy WordPress plugin that's currently in state of development, and the beta was released. Without making any promises, the beta looks pretty solid. There's a few things that needs to be ironed out here and there, and you did mention there are maybe a few more things that you want to add. Based on that, what can be the expected time frame be for a final release for the WooCommerce builder for the WordPress?
Yeah. Exactly like you said it, we are currently in beta testing. We released that last week. Just a short mention, if anyone wants to test it and see how it goes and take it for a spin, you just go on our website and you'll see in the bottom, in the footer, you'll find the beta test subscription link. And there you'll input your email, and you'll receive an automatic email from us with the download links and what is in the beta and how to give feedback if you are willing. We received a lot of emails. We have I think our beta crew is 800 strong right now. Of course, not all 800 send us emails, because as you can imagine, it will be kind of crazy. But we have some of you that help us a lot. Every single time. I will not give names because for sure I'll omit some of them. So we thank you a lot for that. To get to your question, we are keeping this as long as it takes to iron things out, but we don't want to drag it too much, because right now the build is pretty solid, and we always prefer to, even if it's not 100%, the functionality is not 100%, and as we've told you last week, the WooCommerce still needs some fine-tuning, some improvements on certain elements. We prefer to put it in your hands and start using it and see how it goes. And just to give you some rough estimations, and please take this with a grain of salt, because you know how development goes. Things pop up, and we need to push things. We need to wait for other features to come in order to release other stuff. I think for the beta, maybe another 10 days to 2 weeks, something like this, and then it's another maybe a week or 2 weeks to prepare the build, because as we've mentioned last week, what you have in this build, in this beta build, it's not all that it will be contained in the final release. And maybe I'm sure that will be questions about what's next for WordPress, and we'll touch on that a bit later. So we need a bit of time from the end of beta to the actual release to prepare the builds, to do some further testing and things like that. So I hope this answers your question.
Right, and based on that, Neil had asked, are we talking Brizzy Cloud as well today, or just Brizzy WordPress? Anything Brizzy. So if you want to talk about Brizzy Life, anything beyond that, that's also fine, Neil. It's anything that goes. You can ask about cloud, and you can ask about WordPress. So Dane asked, what kind of native integrations do you have in the pipeline for Brizzy?
Native integration. Dane, I think it mainly depends on what you are looking for, right? Because integrations, when we talk integrations, we can talk about contact form integrations, for example. So basically we already have there, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 18 integrations, and among, I don't know, MailChimp, Campaign Monitor, and things like that. So that's one sort of integration. Maybe if you can be more specific of what certain integrations are you looking for. The plugin, for example, is compatible with all sorts of other plugins, like rank math or other plugins that we've crossed time we've made it compatible with. So to be honest, I'm not sure how to answer this in a precise way, because integrations is a bit more generic. So yeah.
Right. So I think if there's a specific question, but I would say, if we say in the pipeline, if I understand Dane's question, is maybe is there something currently in development for any native integrations, or is it mostly focusing on building out the builder and the?
No. Right now we are focusing on building the builder. We have, for example, if we are referring to those contact integrations, we have a long list of requests for integrations, and we want to get to that. But there are a lot of other important things to lay right now. For example, this WooCommerce builder was long awaited, and we needed to push on that really hard. And other integrations, no, we don't.
Okay, good. Right. So Anonym80 is asking, so we know we have the mobile menu. Could there be more design options for the menu on mobile devices? For example, I guess we are talking about the hamburger menu and maybe the icon for that.
Right now we don't have anything on our list regarding this. But you know what you can do, and I think GP, we need to address this either in a video or maybe make a webinar about it. There is a huge potential to design your menus the way you want, and if I may, I can run you through the process a bit. Think of combining, for example, the menu element with a pop-up, right? So you'll have a global pop-up that you can call from an icon, for a button, from whatever, from a link, and when users will click that, it will bring up a pop-up that you can design in any way you want. So basically, you have all the control there to put images in the background, colors, fonts, anything you want. And if you slap a menu element there and position it vertically, because we have that option now. It's basically the sky is the limit. Only your imagination will impede you in doing what you want.
Right. So I see the questions are really coming in strong. Carl, good evening there from Oregon. It's good morning for you, I'm pretty sure, over there. And then this is an interesting question from Philip. And I've seen this a lot on the forum. I've not experienced it. And I often see this is that I see people who run into a lot of issues. And then I'm so confused because I do a lot of testing and I don't run into them. So I think I'm one of the lucky few. But I know a lot of people had been talking about the blurry image problem.
Yes, and I'm super excited to tell you that it's solved. It was solved 3 updates ago. Yeah, it was an issue that our guys looked into it a bit. It was a I don't have the full details, but it was a issue in the script that resized the images. And it's already fixed now. We've received a couple of requests about this across time, and it was mainly very visible when, for example, we received this from a couple of photographers, right, that worked with really high resolution images and wanted to put on their website something that it's crystal, no compression, everything 100%, right? So there was this issue, but it's fully fixed. So let us know if you still encounter it. We did all the tests we needed to do, and from our side, from our point of view, is fully fixed. Yes.
Good. So one of our regulars, Pele, good evening, or I think it's also good morning for you. And I think a general question, the focus is currently on the update with the cloud update towards the end of the year. Not necessarily, right, Dimitri? There may be a little bit of each still coming in the next few weeks and months.
Yes,
what would the focus be for the next 3 months if you had to take a guess?
What you need to know, because we've introduced, as you know, we've introduced the Breezy Sync functionality that syncs blocks and layouts between your Breezy account, and you can take them in cloud or in WordPress and access them and work with them with any builder, with cloud or with WordPress, Breezy WordPress. Because we've introduced that, every update from that point on, it was made one-on-one, right? When we updated WordPress, we've updated cloud, because we, at least from the builder point of view, because we can't have different builders in cloud and in Breezy. You may want to take different blocks or layouts, and the builders needs to be perfectly the same. So, but let me read the question again one more time.
Right. So let's see. Not sure I get it, but Gira says, will it be possible in the future to display the Brizzy header in the store of the native theme? Woocommerce store? Must be Woocommerce.
Yes, of course you can.
Yes.
Maybe I'm not understanding the question exactly, but what you need to do is, of course, you need to build it with Breezy, right? You can't build a page with Breezy and push a header on pages that are not made with Breezy. It's kind of and it should not be a good practice to do it like this. So if you build it with Breezy, you can put the header. You just go to the block conditions and select it to be on all the pages, and that's basically it. But you can't. What you want to do, if you want to put a header in your theme, you can't do that. That page needs to be edited with Breezy in order to control that.
Right. Then Philip W was saying, why are there 2 Philip W's in here? So it seems that there are some clones. So let's ask. I'm going to throw up a few questions here that I've seen quite a number of times, and maybe some questions even from my side as well. I think the first one is from Stratos. And I've even on the Learn Brizzy channel and on our official channel, the last few updates, especially for WordPress, we will get a massive update, and it happens 2 or 3 times a year. What is the release concept behind not maybe releasing small little updates regularly
Sure,
instead
sure.
of a massive release
And
at one?
I have a lot to say on this. You see, with updates, first of all, there are features and features, right? So you have WooCommerce. You can't release that on stages. It's a big functionality, and you need to release it in one go. That's it. But with smaller things, we've decided, I think a year ago. I don't know if you remember. If you look in the change log, you'll see that we've made a lot of updates very constant at the beginning. But with each update, we receive in general a lot of support that is not how to put it, that it's not you see users update the plugins and some things break, or something happens with the website, and in 80% of the time, 90% of the time, maybe it's not Breezy's fault. So if we do weekly updates, bi-weekly updates, and we do that for certain fixes and things that are very important. But if you do that, and we did that in the past, we receive a tremendous amount of support that is not necessarily valid regarding Breezy. So we've decided at some point to put some space between the updates, and this helps us not only with this support issue, but it helps us with testing it more, being more consistent, and putting updates there that are more solid, right? Of course, things always tends to appear. You guys saw what happened recently with Elementor, with that update that messed up a lot of websites. So things tend to appear, but putting a bit more time between them gives us time to test it more, to make it more solid. So I think we'll continue on this path. And I've discussed this on our last webinar with someone in the comments, and now I'm a bit. So I apologize if he's here, because it was a bit late, and I was going a bit hard on him. Now I realize. Yeah, you see, this frequency of updates, I think it's perceived a bit wrong, because it's not a valid variable or parameter to gauge the support of a software by the developers, right? Because from my understanding, this is the argument. If you update it often, this product is more supported, or this product is alive. But this is not a valid argument at all, because on the same thinking, we can update it weekly and don't add anything of value, right? So what you need to know is that we're here. We are all the team, and we've made the hirings, and we have new colleagues, and all the team is hard working on Breezy WordPress and Cloud. So from that point of view of the support of the plugin, there's no question, we're all in.
Right. Just for those of you who have joined us late, good evening here to our first ever live stream at Brizzy. And this is a Q&A session. We plan to do more of these live streaming, whether it's going to be tutorials or announcements. We'll still keep our webinars for maybe more official, structured announcements and showcases, and then we'll still have videos on normal tutorials. So what we have is broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook. So we're taking huge, massive steps here tonight, and we've been testing it a lot. And talking about huge, massive steps, and I think this is one that Dimi probably have a few answers on. Robert asked, what features that they were like, let's do this for Brizzy, turned out actually to be very difficult to implement, that you didn't consider was going to be difficult?
Just to put some perspective, I think in these 2 years we've rewrote the builder 2 or 3 times already. So when you're working on software development, and I'm working with some we are working with some pretty smart guys here. I think of it as if you know the games like that fog of war, right? When you're walking on a map with your character in any game, you know, you see in front of you, and you tend to look at all the variables, all the things to look in front and to foresee what's coming, what would might be the problems in the future, what happens when we'll have the API, how we'll structure this, how the developers will do it. There are so much variables that at some point you realize there are some walls that you need to reconsider, you need to put some breaks, you need to go back a step, you need to rewrite some stuff, you need to optimize other stuff. So it's mainly a lot of working or reworking, especially if you do it the way we do it, and a lot of developers do it like this. I promise you that. But we want to keep that breezy way alive, and everything we add, we want it to be added in a way that takes in consideration everything else, like you see with the global blocks, like you see with other things. But unexpectedly difficult. We a lot of things that we started thinking about, and how we do it. Usually, we don't consider technology first. So, I think this is important in order to bring something new to the table. Because if you start from the technology and walk back to the user experience, it will be a mess. We've put it on the table what we want it to be. For example, the live thumbs, the live thumbnails for the blocks, and
Right.
we knew that we wanted to be like that, and there were a bunch of walls that we needed to break in order to make it happen, especially in WordPress. And it was done after all, and we have a lot of stuff there that was kind of difficult to make. The image focus, for example, where you drag that point and refocus the image on your page. All the global colors, fonts, and the block conditions, for example, they were a bit difficult to implement as well. So yeah, we are hitting our heads on a lot of walls, but fortunately we've managed to break them all until now. So
For me, the wall that I've encountered, because people keep asking me, is probably the one that I remember our conversation, and that was the first time you showcased stories, and you showcased it to me, and we were going to show it on the webinar, and you told me that the idea was there, and then the guys did it just like that, and wow, it was so easy and so quick. And then later I told you, so where is it? You said, oh, it turns out the last part is extremely difficult, right? So that's an example of something that I remember you telling me, wow, you were surprised at how quickly they did it, and then that last little bit.
Yeah, it was. Let's. Good evening from Germany. Hi, Patrick.
Patrick, good evening all over there in Germany. And then just for people that is watching this on Facebook, there is the streaming platform may ask you to give permission. It's a Facebook setting. So if you're on Facebook and you want to give permission so we can see who you are, we can engage with you a little bit easier. Unfortunately, Facebook will not just display in a live stream like this your name, so you have to give it permission. So this is also just an interesting question, and Dimi, for me myself, I mean, when Brizzy came out, it was like, no way, there's no space in the market for this product. And I believe there were a few others that at that time also came out, and we know Brizzy has got past that initial stage to be relevant and still be in the game, whereas the others that I remember came out in 2018, no, I don't see that they've built up that traction. Was it like, hey guys, let's do it. If it doesn't work, we tried our best, or did you look at something and you knew you had a sure deal here that was going to work? Why? What gave you the guts, the balls to do it?
You don't have a global globe to see the future, and this is how it will work. But what I can tell you, and this is 100% true, is that there will be always be room on the table for something that is bringing something new to the table, right? That is pushing some boundaries, that is bringing something that is not there yet. So I think that what mainly we've not necessarily fixed, but improved on a couple of main ideas, and we've put the user in the center, and we improved on usability and the user experience a lot. And we kind of knew that it was something that it will be well received. You see, when you talk about drag and drop, right, this term is used a lot. Drag and drop, visual builder, visual website builder, visual something. It's so overused that I think that it lost its meaning in a way, because there are so many different levels of users, right? Right, it is easy to use on the front end, not like in the back end, not so long ago, a couple of years ago. But the devil, I think, it's in the details, and the ease of use and user experience counted a lot. Actually, about this, I'll plug myself here. About this user experience and ease of use, there is a summit, an online summit that will be, I think, next month, regarding page builders, and I'm a speaker there, an online speaker. And we'll deep dive a bit more into the usability and ease of use with some examples and some explanations. So if you guys are interested, search it online and be there, and you'll find out more about this.
Good. So we were just talking about stories, and we were saying we are preparing a webinar to showcase that. So it's also in development. So I would say I'll add a question here. Stories is going to be released for which platform, and when will it be expected?
We are everything we bounce around, any ideas, any feature, any functionality. We are always thinking how to bring it in the ecosystem, right? In Breezy, as in general, in WordPress and in cloud. If it happens sometimes that sometimes some things go to WordPress or go to cloud first, that's only because or remain only there in cloud or in WordPress. It's only because it's not possible technically. We can't do it. We've analyzed it, and it can't be done yet, at least. Or it comes there first, and then it will come in the other side as well. Perfect example will be funnels, because funnels will come in WordPress first, and and after that in cloud.
Good. So give some love back to NY Tech Club that said last tutorial he had, which was done, was 40,000 views. So if you want to know more about Brizzy, guys can go and check that out. Max is asking also a question, which I think is going around quite a lot, in terms of the fact that we've got save blocks and we've got the syncing feature. What is that opportunity that there can be some more community sharing going on, that I can develop something and a layout on my site and I can make it open for others, or that there is some marketplace where I can go and post it?
Yes, we've discussed about this, and it is on the list to further dig a bit more into this, discuss it, and see how we can bring it to live. It's a very cool idea, and I'm personally very excited about something like this. But what you need to know, and it's solvable for sure. But what you need to know, that usually when you talk about features and functionalities, sometimes some aspects are not readily available, or some issues or some problems or something are not always readily available to be seen, right? If we take, for example, these sharing blocks and templates, you need to put in the middle a bottleneck with review, right? You can't share. I don't know. Maybe will have users that want to share some I don't know what images, right? We need to tackle those rights what if they share premium images they don't have rights on? What if they share custom fonts? There are some things that need to be addressed and discussed and tackled in a way that it comes to life in a way that is great for the community, but also puts together feasible legally and things like that. So there are more variables here that need to be taken into consideration. It is on the list for sure. When we'll get to that, we'll see how to tackle everything.
Right. So I think Heinrich, that also answers that question about the Brizzy theme shop, very similar to that. So the question we had asked earlier, Haroon said he just gave permission, so we can see that was Haroon that we had there asking us that question. So there's many questions there, and I'm going through that, and I'm just saying good evening to a few apprenez, Brizzy, and I don't know how to say good evening in French. Do you, Dimi? You should know something, right? Okay, so
don't put me on the spot because I don't.
I used to know. I studied French. Most annoying thing in the world is to have a name and a surname like I have that is 100% French, and then you show up in a country where they speak French and you tell them I cannot speak French, and they just don't believe you. They think you're trying to hide something. Ben is asking, and Ben, good evening. How many individuals are in the Brizzy team? What happens when we send in suggestions? So let's talk probably about the support team. How many people on the support team, and when, or even development team? Let's take it from Ben's perspective. From a suggestion, there is a feature request. Where does it go? Who handles it? And how does it get passed on? And when does it get to approval and implementation stage?
We recently made some hiring, and I know that Sergio always looks for talent. So we recently have made some hirings, and we have a couple of new colleagues. I think we are 24 right now. And what happens when we send in suggestions? When you usually send suggestions, it goes to, you send it either on email, on one of our emails. If you do it right, you'll go to our community support forum, or send it on hello@breezy.io. If you are not doing it totally right, you'll send it to me personally, or to hello@breezy.io, and we'll push it from there to them. And from that point on, if it's an issue, if there are suggestions for features and functionality, we create an issue on our board. We have an internal board with GP. You know the JIT board. You are invited there. There are thousands of issues categorized in different ways in the builder, certain functionalities, beta testing, and things like that. So and we have a suggestion lane as well. And we put it there, we discuss it. If it's something that pertains to something that we're working on right now, or maybe we are will work or will start working in the near future, we'll for sure look at those suggestions and see what can be implemented. If there are, I don't know, not necessarily okay suggestions, but yeah, if it's something there that we didn't consider, because we are discussing a lot of things, and usually everything was discussed hundreds of hours before. So very rarely I see suggestions that we didn't touch on it in our discussions.
Yeah. Stephen is asking about the starter templates in themes like Astra. Of course, they are Brizzy compatible. You will see there's a little Brizzy selection when you want to install those demo sites. And should we be requesting this from the theme creator? Yes. So those starter sites, demo sites, or starter templates that you see in themes, I know Astra has, Suki has, Bloxy has now, and Neve also. These are themes that we highly recommend. And I've tested them. You know, when I work on the tutorials, I often just whip up one of those starter sites to use as an example. And I would say at the beginning, some struggle to get it right, but I'm very impressed with what people have been doing with the starter sites lately. And what is especially nice to see is that their designing team, their graphic teams in all of these themes, is that often they will take various page builders from Beaver Builder to Elementor, Thrive Architect, and Brizzy, and you can basically have the same starter and it all loads, it looks the same. So it's great to see that what can be done with others, Brizzy can do it exactly the same. And of course, that's a more user-friendly interface. I'm plugging that a little bit. But yes, Stephen, if you have ideas,
if I can add something on this, Stephen, we are in close. We have relationships, close relationships, partnerships with the team, with the teams, with Astra and with all the other teams. So the first step will be to go to them to address any issues with them, because it might not necessarily be something Breezy related. But if it's something Breezy related that we can help you with, they'll push you, they'll contact us, and yeah, this is so we are in contact with them if something pops up and we need to address it on our side for a certain starter template. Go to them and they'll come to us, and we'll sort it out.
Last week's webinar, you mentioned about animations coming, and I see this question is, are scroll animations on the roadmap anytime soon? Is that the same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yes, that's the same thing.
What's happening?
Yes, it is on the roadmap, and it is on the. We actually have the design prototype already done. So regarding this, we'll see a bit later in this live stream if maybe we'll show you something or maybe we'll not. We'll see. We'll see how
promises. You already get just
no promises. No, we'll put it in the hands of our friends here and our lovely community to decide if we will show something or the other. So let's yes, scroll animations are on the roadmap. That's for sure.
Okay. Well, Jay, very loyal supporter of us and always hitting me hard with very interesting questions and challenges. And this is something I know we've brought in viewport height in one of the elements recently, and I'm not sure which one. If it was in, I think it's maybe, I know there's somewhere it was brought in. Jay, you have to remind me because we had this discussion. What is the possibility of bringing in other measurements, for like example, the viewport height, the viewport width, M and rem and percentage as a feature set, maybe across all the other where you can make those measurements?
Yeah, for sure. You know that we for the longest time we had only pixels you could select only pixels, and I can totally understand why all these other measurements are needed. It's you are preaching to the choir, to put it like this. And we recently added, I think a couple of months ago, I can't remember, we've added percentages. But I know it's clear that we need to add all those eventually. You see, it's usually with sometimes how I do it, we think of something, Bogdan and I, for example, or we discuss with GP, comes with some ideas, or we discuss with Chris, and most of the times or sometimes I ask Sergio, look, can we do this? Can we do it like this? And Sergio always tells me, man, we can do anything, right? Anything can be done with enough time, with enough resources. Anything can be done. There is nothing that can't be done. So when I see questions like this, can we bring, can we do, can we, I remember Sergio, yes, everything can be done, and this is something that for sure needs to be done eventually. This is something that pertains to all the project, and when you add certain features that are impacting everything, elements, columns, containers, when fonts and things like this, there is a certain complexity to it. But for sure we have this on the list. I know it. but it's the same as with all the things. We need to make some prioritizations, and the main functionalities still take the top of the list, like WooCommerce and other things. But this is on the list, and for sure will be addressed eventually.
Yeah. Goedenavond. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Dennis.
GP, you don't know French, but the pronunciation in different languages is spot on.
I can do Dutch. I can do Dutch because I can speak Afrikaans. So it's not that one is not an issue.
Okay.
Yep. So I can do that. And yes, guys, we are in a Q&A session. So if you just joined us and we're just being laid back, if I look tense, Pele, it's because maybe the light is too bright and it's past my bedtime. If you don't believe it, I was having this conversation with Brizzy and I said, with Dimi, I'm an early riser. I've got a very bad habit, either a bad habit or a good habit. I wake up at 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, and that's when I start working. And often I will tell Dimi, hey, I need this. And then he's like, man, I just got up. Give me some time to wake up and get to the office, this kind of thing.
I often go to sleep at 3 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah.
So, questions? This is our Q&A session. Just drop it down over there. We'll try and get through it. We're taking it very easy. There's not really a time limit. We're going to probably run to an hour and a half, a little more if there are more questions. But we will do this kind of Q&A session a little bit more so that for you guys with questions, that this is a great platform for you to ask those questions.
In the meantime,
has been asked a number of times, and this takes us to Breezy Cloud. It's about funnels. So let's just tackle the funnel first. When will funnels come? And I think the second question is what many people are going to be wondering about in terms of this. How is payment gateway going to be working for Breezy Cloud? Because Woocommerce, that's kind of said, there are so many payment gateways and add-on plugins that you can get for that. What's the plan? Because this means some partnerships, right? Or some ideas that need to happen behind the scenes with Breezy Cloud.
Yeah, for sure. The funnels, this is one of the points, right? Why we will be bringing funnels in WordPress before cloud. And the answer is the payments gateways, right? You funnels without payments and without connecting them to a final step where the user can or the funnel creator can funnel all those users without payments. It's half the story. You can create funnels that generate leads, but mostly you'll create funnels that eventually sell something. And having payments readily available is very important. We are doing it in WordPress first because, of course, WordPress has this amazing plugin WooCommerce that will help you with those payments, and it will be closely integrated with our funnel functionality. And that is and then we'll bring it to cloud. But cloud needs to be implemented when we'll have something regarding payments there, right?
Right.
We need to WordPress first will let us learn some things. Then it will come to the cloud. And regarding the payment gateways, it's a matter of integrating them natively, right? Maybe this is what our friend asked earlier. We don't have native integrations right now, but all of these providers like Stripe, PayPal, we use Paddle, for example, on Breezy.io, our partner that processes the payments, and all this usually offer embeddable shopping carts or embeddable scripts. And even if we don't natively let you integrate it, like copy pasting an API key or something like that, you can easily bring shopping functionality in Breezy Cloud tonight if you want to. Just go there, get the embeddable scripts, and put it on your Breezy project in the cloud, and you'll have shopping functionality. It's that easy. And I think this is partially our fault, mine and maybe a bit of GPs, and because I think we'll need to address this. Maybe do a webinar, do some tutorials about how you will be able to. It's mainly copy pasting some embed codes. It's nothing so special, but yeah.
I just got blamed. I like that.
No, I need it. You know how you do it. If you are on top, you go with the blame on on your colleagues.
Very sharing, caring.
No, it's totally my fault because yeah.
Right. So
What can you
Jason
do?
is asking a number of times, and I mean, this question, we've been talking about it for more than a year. So I do know that previous time this question was asked, your answer was more or less that there's a lot that has to happen with the CMS platforms first and developing the plugin before we get to the API stage. So how much is there still to go before that?
We are working on the API. I think it's months now. What we are doing is what we had until now, until I don't know, maybe a year ago, something like this. We had all our options and all our elements, everything that was created and developed and was created under an internal standard that all our guys, our developers understood it, knew how to work with that standard. But that standard is not what we needed to do is to take that standard, modify it, extend it, and make it usable or comprehensible by any developer out there, right? You know some JavaScript, you know some PHP, you know some things. You look on the documentation and you'll take the API and you'll just start to create stuff. That was not possible, and it will be possible with the API, but that involved into rewriting a bunch of elements, a bunch of options, a bunch of things from our standard, internal standard, to bring it to that in the API. And what we did, and what we also currently do, is when we rethink something or rewrite something for the API, we also do the documentation at the same time for the API. So things need to move a bit slower because you're doing everything at the same time, rewriting things, creating documentation for the APIs, thinking how everything will be layered and how it will be used by the developers. So there are a bunch of balls that we'll need to juggle, but yeah, things are progressing. I can't give you an estimate when something will be released, but maybe something by the end of the year. But I can't promise anything. Most likely something next year, at the beginning of the year or in the first couple of months.
A/B testing.
Yep, A/B testing. So there are some things for funnels that you can't do without. Funnels can, if you don't have payments, if you don't have A/B testing, and if you don't have tracking and analytics, you basically can do funnels right now in cloud. You'll put some pages linked together one after the other, and you'll call it a funnel. But it's not truly a funnel until you have A/B testing. You can do some tracking, you can do some analytics, see some numbers, improve, optimize, and things like that, and eventually sell. We have everything regarding this is on the list, and we have some cool ideas how to do A/B testing. A/B testing, I can tell you that it will not be done how it's usually be done, and I've seen this a lot on other platforms, and I think it's a wrong approach. We'll do it at the block level. So basically, you'll be able to A/B test blocks, not pages. You'll not duplicate pages and modify only a title somewhere or only a button, but you'll do the A/B testing at the block level, and this is something really cool. And it will help a lot with speed, with usability. We also have tracking analytics on the list, and the guys, I think they already started working something in that regard. The idea with the funnels and with all this functionality is to give you the complete solution, right? If we give you something half-baked, it can work, but we want to bring in the cloud the full experience. and that is funnels that has that you can check analytics and do some tracking, payments, and A/B testing. It sounds easy, like on 5 fingers, but it's like you major functionalities. So yeah.
Okay, so Shebas, good evening. I know you were also last week in the webinar, so it's good to see the guys that and the supporters and that you guys are always here. It helps us. Sometimes, like this live stream, Dimi and I said before the time, what if no one shows up and we don't have any questions? What are we going to talk about, right? So it's very, very supportive to see all the questions come in, and really the community really appreciates that. So just to mention that, because Dr. Sky did ask about tutorials. And yes, there are two guys here that make tutorials. One is Chris, and he's also in charge of the Facebook community. And then I'm also doing here for YouTube. I'm very guilty. Like I said, it's been a rough year in so many regards, so slipped up with it. And we're trying and catch up with this as well. But then, as Chris said, you can just hop on over there to Facebook and DM over there and just discuss a little bit about what you need and what we can focus on. Then if we continue, so there's a few, and I think the ones that we should probably, this one I'm also very interested in, sorry, going back to Shabazz, is that currently images, you need to upload it one by one to Brizzy Cloud. Is there a file or folder structure with a little database somewhere on the Brizzy Cloud server coming?
We have that as an issue on our board, and we've discussed this. We'll need to look into it a little bit more. This is a complex functionality. It's not something very easy to do. It's kind of a complex thing. We want eventually, at least for example, Bogdan, and the guys see this as a thing for the future for sure. So it's how you work right now, it creates some usability issues, right? If you want to use the same image a couple of times, you need to upload it again. That's not only, this is one side of the coin, the usability issue, but there's the side of the coin that there's the space on the server, right? You'll upload the same image twice. So there are optimization variables here, and there is a lot to take into account. But I see this in Breezy Cloud for sure in the future. Don't hold your breath, because I presume you'll be holding it a little more. But yes, this is something that I for one want that, and we have an issue there, and we'll eventually get to it. But there are so many things that are important. GP, oh my God, it's hard to. We'll need a team of 500 people to work on different stuff and have everything at once. But it's not necessarily a matter of scaling. It's more complex than that.
I'm gonna throw this one up here because in 2018, June 2018, the first edition was announced. It would say integration with Adobe Typekit at that point, and now it's Adobe Fonts, right? What happened to
that? What happened is life. What happened, and other priorities happen. We have a lot of things on our list, as you guys know. I will always say that it is on the list. It's on the list. It's on the list. Of course, truth be told, a lot of things that were on the list in 2018 are already in production, and you guys are using it. So if you were to be fair, this is also on the list as well. But I can see that this is important functionality. It was passed down a bit in the priority because we've created the upload, right? We've created the upload custom font functionality. So basically, you can upload your custom fonts if you want. Before you jump, Carl, I know that Adobe Typekit doesn't let you download all the fonts, because we use it and we love it, and we've used it in the past in our design department. And for those fonts that unfortunately you can't use, but there are a lot of fonts that they let you download. So maybe you can work with that until we bring that on. We have a lot of plans regarding fonts, regarding an icon library that that we'll talk about maybe soon. Yeah.
When will Brizzy be fully GDPR compatible? I'm very grateful where I am. I don't need to care about GDPR. So it is something that I haven't really schooled myself onto.
Yeah, Breezy is fully GDPR compatible right now. We've received this for Breezy Cloud, actually. I think recently a couple of questions. I was about to ask. Okay, in Breezy Cloud there are how to put it, two ways to look at what data is collected and what cookies and what things are set there. From our point of view, what we set on the websites and on the projects you create, and from your point of view, the project you create and what scripts and other things you include there. So from our standpoint, we don't include any cookies, we don't include any tracking, we don't include anything in the project you are creating. So basically, any project you create is fully GDPR compliant from our side, and from that halfway point to what you are creating, there is the matter of what scripts and what tracking and what other things you bring from outside. And that is that you need to take care of with and I've created recently a document in our support documentation. You can go search for GDPR compliant in the cloud. You just need to put there are services that offer that cookie, that free cookie, how do you call it, GP, that cookie consent approval. And if anything you put there, you'll just make a free account on their website, slap that in the code injection feature, and that will let you be fully GDPR compliant only if you include something external, third-party stuff that sets cookies, that tracks data, things like that. And also we are bringing on some useful functionality in the contact form that lets you catch all the information from the users. You can add the checkboxes. You can make mandatory a checkbox. You can make it mandatory and ask for consent from the users that come fill in the form. So from our point of view, Breezy it's fully GDPR compliant.
Great. We talked earlier about some themes that we know have Brizzy starter sites, but it's of course a lot of us start from the beginning. I use starter sites often for ideas or just to see how they used Brizzy to get to that point, because that's one of the things that you will find with Brizzy. There's more than one way to do the same thing, because you can have columns and columns, columns within rows, or not even any of that. But also some of the other themes that we also highly recommend. And you can go to Brizzy.io, you will find there our project partners and theme partners.
Yeah,
so it's a huge page builder framework. Top On, very good one as well. Steve mentioned he uses Generate Press, another great one. And these guys have all worked very well, nicely with Brizzy. So all of those themes that we've mentioned, the list, they are very, very good. And if you ever get stuck, go ahead, choose one of them, try them. I can never say which one I recommend. I have my favorites, and then I have a very big weakness is I hate using the same thing again and again. I get bored, and then I try new things. So I always complicate my life.
Plus, there is the advantage that the majority of our partners they are all great, and there is the advantage that the majority offer it for free, right? You can start using it right now. You don't have to put any money up front. See what options are there, test everything, test them all, and yeah.
Right. So Jay has another challenging question to us, and that is when you hand over your project to clients, the ability to disable all the theme and library so they don't mess around with those things.
Yeah. I think, Jay, I think this is API from territory, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe an option in the white label who knows? I will need to investigate this a bit more. I'm not sure if this is an option in the white label that we need to think about, discuss about, and see if it's something we might want to do. But this for sure is API territory where you will be able to do certain stuff like this, to maybe develop it more, add your blocks or layouts, something like this. Actually, Sergi, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm thinking out loud here, I hope I don't say something that, but we are among friends, so if if I say
No
something
problem.
that,
Perfect.
yeah, yeah. Actually, Sergi told me that he's thinking about a way to let us all import layouts and blocks before the API and that functionality, and that's because not everyone is a developer, right? Maybe you're working with clients, you want to give them some options there that are your own and not you grown a tail GP or it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's my one of many tales here, and I'm so worried they're going to step on the keyboard and I get disconnected. So I have to take on charge very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sergius told me that he's thinking about a way to maybe bring that outside of the API, because we're not all developers, and we'll need a way to import blocks and layouts for our clients another way rather than developing through the API.
Anna is saying, is there a way for multiple people to work on Brizzy at the same time? And I think the answer to this question will be: one, can you do it in WordPress? Two, can you do it in cloud? And I think the answer.
Yeah, there are some hi Anna, thanks for the questions. We've received this a lot. There are some considerations here regarding how the Breezy is built. As you know, at some point it was opened, right? Any user could log in from any page and edit stuff and things like that. And a lot of times we receive countless support regarding this. Users or customers telling us that they work on it and it's broken, something happened, someone updated it from the other side, and they override their options or their changes, and there was a mess. And I personally can attest to this, because I was working with Bogdan at some point on our website, and we were in the same office. On two different computers, and we were overwriting each other, and we couldn't figure out what's happening, right? And we messed that up a couple of times, and we've decided to introduce this functionality that lets you to edit one page at a time. And this is not only the only point why we did it. We've introduced all these global blocks, all this thing that we have fonts that are global, we have colors, we have blocks, we have global conditions that put the blocks on different pages with certain conditions and things like that. So every time you edit something in one place, you can risk to mess up the project if more users edit certain pages differently. We have also built in the functionality that you can take over, right? The same that WordPress has. If you enter the same page that someone else is editing, it tells you that someone else is currently working on a page, and you get the option to take over the editing part. But when two different people work on two different pages, there are some problems that may appear. So we notify you that you need, if on the other side someone updated their page, we notify you that your page needs a refresh, right? And this happens because maybe they changed something in the global colors or in the something that affects your page as well. So you'll hit a refresh, continue. If you edit something, we notify the other person. You need to hit a refresh. Something may change on the page and things like that. It might seem that is restrictive functionality, but you can believe us to take our word from it that all we do and think is only for the best of the customer, the client, and ultimately for the ease of use. And yeah.
Right. So, Dimi, should we do one or two more questions before we ask the show poll?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I'm traveling. My family is not with me right now, so I can do all night. But I'm kidding, of course. I can't do all night.
Okay, let me just see. I
Yes.
just scrolled here and now I lost it.
If you need a bit more time to look on the questions, I can. You don't
Nope.
need. Okay. Okay. That's a very good question. We as with a lot of things, guys, with the ACF and all the meta box and all the, we have 4 plugins there that handle custom fields. As with all the things, is something that is important or is interesting, and we have it on the list. I know that I've talked with Sergio about it months ago. We'll need to just get to it. That's all. Just grind and do all the things that are major, important, and just go down on that list, and eventually we'll arrive at the pro version of those plugins as well, because right now we only are compatible with the free versions, and I understand the need for the pro because they offer certain functionality there that you'll want to use, and some of it works by default, but some I'm sure needs some attention from our part. Unfortunately, that needs to wait. That needs to wait a bit. I'd like to say that it will be very fast, but we're not in the business of selling false expectations. Fully functional, transparent headers inside Breezy without. You can do that right now without any CSS hacks, Philip. You just there is a small trick, but it's not a trick. It's something that I think every in a way. You just need to go to the. I'm not sure if you saw that every block, every element, the margin component, the margin options in the right hand sidebar. It has negative values. So you'll just go to the block under the header, or maybe on the header block if you want, and drag the negative margin to, and the header will go down on your section. It's just it's that easy, and the color you'll need.
Ideal, right? It would be nice just to have a click and it can happen and do it automatically, right?
Yeah, I wanted to give you a solution right now. You want to wait for the click? Okay, wait for the click. It's fine. It's not a problem. We have that on the list.
It can be done. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, but it's a matter of 5 seconds of doing that.
Right. So, shall we do the poll? What have you got for us?
Yeah, but guys, you know how we usually do it in the webinars. We are always trying to. I look like an alien with my head is like this, and you are. Let me. Okay. You know, like how we do it in webinars. We try to surprise you and prepare some things. Usually some discounts, maybe other times we launch some functionality or some a beta or something like this. And we thought and discussed, and we arrived at the conclusion that maybe keep it light and show some new things, right? Some new things we are working on. And before I tell you how we'll do this, I'll put a short disclaimer here. This is a prototype design, what I will be showing you. So don't take it as granted. Don't come when it will be launched and tell us that look, I see it here, it's modified, it's not like this, it doesn't you said here that it will work, I don't know how. It is prototyping, it is in the stages of design, so what you'll see here is not final work. It might change. How we'll do it? We have two features that we can show tonight, and we'll show only one of it, only one. We have funnels and we have animations, the animation functionality. So basically, we can't do polls here in a live stream, but you'll need to tell us in comments if you want to see the funnel design or the animation functionality. And when I'm talking about animations, I'm talking about a full-fledged animation module, not three options. So let's see.
I think two animations. Animations has got two. Funnels has got one. We'll give a 30-second. Okay, one more for. Okay, 3, 2. So vote. Okay, there's another one for animation. Sure. Now there's both. No, you cannot use both. No,
you can use both, but it will go to animations because I see that animations is
okay. Yeah. No, they are head to head. They are 5-4.
I don't want to influence the vote, but animation has more screens, if that helps.
Yeah. Animation is 2 ahead now. So 10 more seconds. Put in your votes. 5 has joined, +1 for both. Okay, last 2 seconds. We are last person to vote now will make the swing vote.
I saw a lot of animations here on the. Yep.
Animation, Max.
Animation. Animation it is. So I'll.
I voted funnels, so I'm.
You voted funnels. Yeah, but you
It's okay. I will wait. I'll be patient.
You have the inside scoop. I will. Animations. Okay.
They're gonna ask
me. Animations it is. So I'll just share my screen. Let me see. Share screen. Application window. Chrome. Share. Let's see if we go in a. Yep, excellent. So as you see here, I've already opened funnels and animations. So I'll start with animations. Here's how. Again, let me again preface this. This is a prototype. We're working on it. We're discussing how things are restructuring, how things will be. But the idea we have regarding this, we see animations. We see it as not something that is a couple of options here, a couple of options there's all spread out in the interface. We see it as a full-fledged module regarding animations, and that needs to be accessed a bit separately, and it needs to be easily accessible for us to work with it. We thought that it will be in the right sidebar, the animation module, and I think it makes sense to break this down in 2 tabs, and we'll put in style. We'll put everything that we currently have a default style and advanced. What you see right now in the right sidebar, it will be here.
Design at the moment, or how did you get here?
No. This is purely design. This was we have how we do it. Bogdan and I, we have a main. We use Sketch for prototyping and designing the interface, and we have all those elements. We have a very complex Sketch files with symbols and things like that, and we use that Sketch file to prototype new ideas, new stuff, and this is the idea or the prototype for the effects. We call it effects. We don't call it animations. So on the first tab, we'll have style, and we'll incorporate everything we have right now in the right sidebar. I'll be talking about this a bit later. And when you switch to effects, we've analyzed everything regarding animations and effects from other builders, and I think we found a solution to breaking down in a way that is very easy to understand and very easy to use. And we'll have effects, and this will be on 3 main categories. We'll have entrance effects, and these are the entrance effects we have right now in Breezy. Those entrance animations effects that load when you scroll on the page, when you first load the page. I think you know what I mean about this. By default, it will be set on none because you don't have any entrance animation. But if you click one of the animations, for example, fade, you'll be able to select the direction or have certain options here that pertain to this fade animation. So basically, for fade, for example, you can choose the direction up, down, left, right, and control certain things like duration and delay. Next, we have the hover effect, and this is not done yet because this hover effect will be different from element to element. For example, for buttons, we'll have here some effects or some effects or animations that are specific to buttons. For menu element, we see animations here that are specific to menu elements. For example, when you go hover, there is an animation with an underline or something like this, right? Or the text wiggles or things like this. Or maybe on columns, we'll have on hover, we'll have scale. You can scale a column maybe with some options when you go hover it. And the same goes for hover animations. When you click one of the animations, some options will appear here that are specific to that effect. And next, it will be scroll. On the third tab here, it's scroll, and these are all the scroll effects that you can select. And as you can see, these are working a bit differently with this selection here at the top left corner. It's not like here on hover effects where you can choose something or choose none. But here is mainly an idea that, and we chose this way of doing it because you can have multiple scroll animations, right? You can have vertical scroll and maybe transparent at the same time. So we need to do this way, and I think this is a good way of doing it with icons. Very easy to understand what they do, and very easy to grasp and use. And when you click one of these, of course, the same as before, the effect you are selecting will remain selected, and options will appear below it that you can control the direction, some speed, start, end, and things like that. So certain things that will be related to this effect you are controlling. This is our partners page, by the way, and this is it. So basically, we want this as a separate main sidebar for animations, right? You have we'll have an area where you can control everything related to effects on your page. We'll have entrance effects, hover, scroll, and you'll be able to do almost anything with this. Let me talk about this functionality. I'm not sure it will be. We are just discussing it, so I'm not sure this will come with this effects update. But we thought about this a lot, and right now, if you add certain elements on your page from the left sidebar, you add a button, for example. How it is stylized, that button, is basically something that we decided, right? So when you add the button, when you add the carousel, when you add the accordion, when you add any element on the page, there is a default style for that element. And that default style is something that we decided, Breezy decided, but you don't have control over it. So we thought that it would be interesting if we could do it. And this is still from the design point of view is simple because we've only put a button here. But in the back end, all kinds of things will need to happen. But the idea behind this button is to use all the options from your element, from your button, from your image, from whatever, set the way you want it to be set. And when you press set style as default, this will override the default style you add from the left sidebar. So basically, every time, for example, if you buttons usually or things that repeat themselves on your website, it's a good practice to use them right the same, to be the same button. What you'll do, you'll drag a button with the default style, you'll stylize it the way you want, and then if you press this set style as default, you'll push all the styles as default, and next time you add a button from your left sidebar, it will have this style you've set it right here. On the same idea, if you change anything on a button and you push the reset to default button, the reset to default link, it will reset to your default. So I think this will bring another layer of customization and ease of use to the table, something that I don't want to talk without studying a little, but I didn't see something like this in other builders. And that's about it with the
Guide Media Pro feature or available as a free
we
version
didn't
as well?
decide. Let me just stop sharing my screen right now. We didn't fully decided it yet. Our philosophy and we want to bring in free as much as we can, right? We will never nickel and dime every little stuff. It's possible something part of this animation module to be on Pro, but usually we'll want to bring in free as much as we can, like you are used to with all the other functionality we bring in free. For example, the contact form that no one gives in free, we give in free. The menu element that no one gives in free, we give in free, and so on and so forth.
Carl is asking about the set style as default. Will it work for everything that includes buttons, typography, and colors?
This is the idea. Again, Carl, I'm super excited about a functionality like this, and would love to be able to showcase it to you as soon as possible. This needs still what you've saw tonight in the screens are design prototypes that we are discussing on them right now. So we didn't write a line of code regarding this. We don't know if they'll remain exactly like this, but this is the focus on usability and ease of use we want to pursue, to put it like this. So yes, if it will be possible to do it this way, it will be available on all element. Basically, you'll drag a default element, it will come with the default styles that we've decided upon, and you'll modify it the way you want, push the set as default, and those styles will go to the default. Thanks, man.
Right.
We are great. Yeah.
And it's past my bedtime, so I'm still
okay.
Well, I think let's do a few more questions before we call it a night. And so we are stepping away from the animation, and we missed out on funnels. I'm going to blame everyone. I wanted to see the funnels. We'll have to make a plan for that. So let's jump into something else. HB8 is asking the option to use videos directly. This is for WordPress from your media library as a background video and not only YouTube and Vimeo.
It's a very good question. You can't do that. That's news for me as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, we need to look into it. HB8. We need to look into it. If you would be kind, send us an email on hello@breezy.io, and you can do that. From the top of my head, I think you would be able to do that. But
Pro feature, isn't it? Pro feature.
can you get the bottom padding? Bottom padding? You mean inside the bottom? Stefan, you don't need padding inside it. You have padding outside and margins, and inside the button you control that on the bottom icon through the size options. If you go if you go there on custom size, you'll be able to set the height and width, so you'll be able to make a button like with the padding you want. Yes, this is something that will need to a whole webinar or a live stream about. We are working right now. We have 16, I think, layout packs that are already created, not only design wise but also implemented in Breezy. So we have another 16 layout packs, not landing pages. A lot of them have 5, 8. I think Gabi, our colleague, is working on a today. He was working on a 10-page layout pack. So they're extensive layout packs. And those will come. We had so much on our plates this past few weeks, and we want that in very soon. I think the next update after the Woocommerce builder will be with this layout packs. And not only this, we have another, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 30 layout packs designed. So we have 30 or 29 or 30 layout packs already designed. Most of them have over 5-8 pages. Believe me, you'll be on the design side. Even if we already have a bunch of things there, layouts and landing pages. I know we didn't update that for a short time, but there's no issue there. We have everything set up. Designs will come.
Custom icon.
Jay, custom icons. Yes. There are some considerations here with the custom icons and with the library we have in mind. Actually, we already have the prototype designed on that front, on how we want it to look and how we want it to be used. And you'll be able to upload icons. You'll be able to favorite icons and things like that. But there are considerations here regarding the implementation, because icons are a bit complex to be tackled, especially SVG icons, especially in WordPress, that you can't upload them without activating SVG uploads. There are some considerations here that needs to be taken. We have this on our list, but with everything else, it needs to wait a bit more. But if you want a one-stop solution, you can upload right now, right? You can upload images. You can upload icons like SVGs. So basically, you don't have the icon library right now, but the idea is to bring the icons on the page, not to have the icon library necessary. I understand that it would be more elegant to have it there, and it will be there eventually. But if the idea is to put icons on your page, you can do that right now with the image element, and you can upload also SVG icons if you enable the SVG upload from the Breezy options in the WordPress admin. Cătălin Iancu, I think this is one of my compatriots. Cătălin Iancu sounds like a Romanian name. Cătălin, sorry mate, we need to keep the right. We need to keep the. This is how it's. We need to keep the enthusiasm going, and we need to keep something for you to have to look forward for our next live stream. So yeah, the people decided, right? It's a democracy, so you guys decided animations it is. Next time funnels, please.
So unfair.
Yeah, but the question, GP, the question is another one. We need to put another options beside funnels, so we decide what to show, right? So maybe it would not be funnels.
Okay, that one is something else. Here we go. This is inbuilt SEO optimizer app option.
SEO optimizer app option. I'm not sure what this refers to. Maybe something related to how
integration.
Yeah, maybe SEO optimizer. Maybe something how the plugin the word. I have a brain fart. The SEO plugin, the most popular one. Give it to me. What's the name?
Rank Math SEO. Chris is very big on SEO. We should ask Chris.
The one from WordPress, from Automatic, whatever. It doesn't matter. They have they have Yoast, exactly. Thanks, Philip. They have an optimizer there. I think that was right. They have a sort of optimizer that you can put content, and they tell you how to do the title, make it shorter, make it larger, put some. We don't have something like this on our list, and this is at least for WordPress. This is plugin territory, so they are professional. They know what to do there, and you can use those plugins in mobile planning to allow us adding elements like buttons, text, and pictures. Good idea. Right now, that's not possible, and I'm not sure we'll allow it. And that's not necessarily because we don't want to do it, but mostly because we are using a modified version of an open source script for the mobile menu. And I'm not sure that allows us to do something like this. I think it will need to be extended a lot. But I'm thinking, I'm also thinking about always thinking about the solution or the idea we've discussed, GP, at the beginning of the live stream about the pop-up. Right? You can have an icon that it's a hamburger, and when you click that, it will open a pop-up. And in that pop-up, you can put anything you want. You can put images, buttons, menus, anything you want. But this question appeared a lot, so maybe we'll put it on the books and make a webinar regarding this to show you some different creative ways how you can play with the pop-ups and elements and the menu element to create.
Right, so let's tackle, let's say, 2-3 more questions. Neil is asking about blogging capabilities for cloud.
Actually, the blogging for cloud is already in the works. We have an internal alpha that I've tested with my colleague Bogdan just the other day. There is still work to be done. Remember, what we are trying to do in half a year what WordPress did in 13 years. So it still needs to stay a bit more in the cooker. But I know that it is in the works right now. The guys are working on it actively.
Right. A few people have talked about more functionality for galleries.
Yes, I agree. Galleries is one of the elements that I like a lot because it gives you the possibility to play with the sizes on the images, to move things around, to create some interesting stuff. But I agree, there are some options, styling options there. Uh, maybe create some predefined style, and I'm thinking out loud here. Maybe create some predefined styles, and uh, besides this, what I think it's another thing for galleries that is most needed is dragging uh, a bunch of images and uploading them as a gallery, right? Not one by one. That's a bit, and that's a technical issue that we still need to overcome. But yeah, I agree. The gallery needs some improvements. Of course, there are a bunch of elements that we can improve further, and for some we already working on them. For others, they'll still need to wait a bit. You can please some of the people some of the time, right? You we it's there is room for improvement, that's for sure. We are the first one to say that. uh, and we have a bunch of all of this. It's on the list. We'll just need to get to it. The text element, for example, needs an overhaul with I don't know, maybe for me, for example, sometimes I want buttons with caps, right? I want to all the letters to be caps, to be big letters, right? And I need to type it caps, but an option for caps needs to be there. So there are some things that we are aware of, and there are on the list, and we'll address them for sure.
Right, so we're basically coming to the end. I think I'll just pop Destin to dominate here. We had this question earlier from Dr. Sky, I forgot, also asking for more basic tutorials, and I'll just pop it up here. Chris's response that check out the YouTube channel of Brizzy, which we currently at. There are many videos, and then also the Facebook group where Chris is running the day-to-day business for us. There will start the tutorials. And if there is something specific, just let him know. For this live broadcast that we are doing tonight, which basically I had an idea and I told Dimi, hey, I want to do a back to basics. And we've already gone through that a little bit and discussed. And then Dimi said, hey, but let's do a Q&A first. So the idea is to try and do a little bit more live so we can have much more fluent and interactive conversation and understand, it's very easy when I sit behind the screen and I do a tutorial to just continue, and maybe I skip something that you don't understand why I'm doing it. So it's one of the ideas behind the live stream, is that we also want to do more of these tutorials and get your feedback in real time. Say, hey, stop there. Why did you do that? Why didn't you do it like this? Something like that. So very soon, maybe within this week, you will see another live stream setup called Back to Basics, which is going to allow you to understand both the WordPress plugin, and we really talk from the beginning how you set up WordPress if you want to do it on your local server, if you just want to test for free, as well as Breezy Cloud. So we will be covering all of this, giving you that opportunity to learn step by step, and also tell us what you like to know more of. Chris is our number one, especially if you want to know about integrations for WordPress and things like he's done Lifter LMS. He's done a lot on SEO, blogging as well. So there are great tutorials out on that, and just let him know. And I know one of the things that I see, is, especially on blogging, is sometimes people say, but when can you do blogging? And the answer is it can do blogging, but maybe not in the way you anticipate. So that's why you will have to go and check those videos, speak to us, speak to Chris, and have an idea of how it works. But we'll try and run that through. And especially now that we are working on the beta for Woocommerce. A lot of people think with the Woocommerce builder, that's your shop. And that's where they make a mistake, because you need to know how to work the Woocommerce plugin and how to set up your products and everything. And that's got nothing to do with Brizzy. That's all about Woocommerce and the plugin, your gateways and all of that. So we will also have tutorials to help you with that, and then show how you go from that to your final product pages and how you display it on your sites. So I think, guys, that's it for tonight. This was very great. We didn't mess up. Timmy, success.
My internet. I'm traveling, and I will not show you the room, but I'm in an Airbnb, and my internet today messed up a couple of times, and I was like, oh my god, if tonight my internet is failing on me, but it looks like we've managed to bring this to an end, and I'll call this a success. Thanks about go to sleep. Thanks a bunch, guys, for being here. It's an honor and a privilege to have you supporting us in and we'll see each other on the next one, right? On the next live stream, in the next webinar. Stay tuned on our Facebook and on our website, and we'll announce what's next really, really soon.
Right. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.